So now we have Te Matau, a Maui Voyaging Trust, Phillip Smith, which is submission 92.
Part 4, page 8.
This one, do you know how to run this? Or you were just providing support?
No, you will be talking, so.
So is that, it was just that video work, so?
Has access to the video.
Two.
Yeah, so
Better one. Does
IT,
that work?
yeah, IT said you just run it and they check the sound and everything.
Atua keo ki te mihi kia kōrua, koutou ko te kei ko tai mai. No reira, ai pānui tia e au i rungi te pepa mo tō haringa, ki tā wahi no kānui te whakamiharo kia koutou. No reira, hara mai, piki mai, i mui o tēnei kai kauni hera ki te hakaronga ki tō koutou kaupapa. Engari i tēnei wā, pai noa ki te mihi kia rātou, ka rūpeka atu ki tuatarai. No reira koutou aho koko whetio rangitia tēnei te mihi atu. No reira, haere atu koutou. No reira, te hunga ora, hai noa ko koutou āhua, no reira, kia kaha ki te kōrero, tēnā no tātou.
Kia ora matua, ngā mihi atu ki a koe, matua mo tō mihi mai ki a mātou. Me ngā mihi kia koutou katoa o te kaunihira o Te Matau Maui. Kia ora tātou. Kia ora everyone, my name is...
Chair, just before you start, Chair, I need to declare that have a conflict. I'm a trustee of this trust.
You're a trustee of this trust, okay. Make a note of that. Yeah. So 10 minutes, guys. Kia ora tātou, 10 minutes. And if you want us to ask some questions, it's all within the 10 minutes.
Sure, no problem. Kia ora everyone, my name's Phillip Smith. I'm the chairman and celestial navigator on our waka Te Matau Maui, and these are two other celestial navigators as well. So here we're here to talk today about some water safety programs, but not just water safety programs. It's really just what we've been doing within the community within Hawke's Bay over the last couple of years. So just to let you know that we are doing the same presentations to the Hastings and Napier councils, and we're hoping for the same amount of funding from them. So when we're discussing what's happening in this particular submission, it's for the areas outside the Hastings District Council and Napier City Council. We've already dealt with the likes of from schools, Mahia, Wairoa, Te Aute, Central Hawke's Bay. So they're the schools and the type of youth groups that we're wanting to involve in these programs. So just to let you know that we've already run two successful water safety days last year, and we partnered up with the Coast Guard and the and Surf Lifesaving to deliver these. And we delivered it to what you see up there on the board ×2 basically. That was for a Napier day, and then another day was for Hastings. But we'd really like to include those areas outside of those two districts. We also had additional funding from Unison and some in-kind funding from Pitapit, Hawke's Bay Seafoods, the Mad Butcher and Napier Sailing Club. Sean to TK.
Oh, kia ora koutou. So I suppose what's unique about this program is that we have three strong organisations. We have a three-prong approach, obviously with the Waka Trust having that cultural and environmental perspective, that respect for Tangaroa, Coast Guard being from the maritime, safety on the water, as well as, education of the regional council bylaws, or that we implement. And also the surf lifesaving as well, crucial for us seagoing people. So as Piripi was saying that we want to expand on the education program that was delivered last year to 300, an increase to 300 youths aged between 9 and 14. We want to include the parents as well. It needs to be a family, whānau-based, I suppose, program so that it's intergenerational. And then also leaders of, groups within the bay here as well, just so that it filters down within the community. So looking at targeting secondary schools and also primary schools at the, I suppose, lower end or the, the earlier stages of secondary school, so that we are able to get into the education programs, so that they're not as crowded as some of the older secondary school people, and also community groups as well, so targeting potentially the scout groups, all those outdoor education groups, and also those in Wairoa and Central Hawke's Bay.
So now I'll just quickly, you would have no doubt had a look at the budget, but it's approximately around about 5K to deliver one of these days, and we're looking to deliver 6 of those days. So we're wanting to target 350 participants. So what we're requesting in total is 30,000 from the Hawke's Bay Regional Council, and we'll also be looking for further funding from other organisations within Hawke's Bay. Any further funding that we do get, it means that we'll be able to deliver more of these days, and we'll be able to go into more schools. So we're still looking for that base of 30,000 from the Regional Council, and within that we will also be looking. We'll be doing getting in-kind donations from other organisations as well.
Tēnā tātou. So in terms of outcomes, in particular, as you all know, Te Matau Maui is probably pretty well identified as a Māori run initiative, and so in particular we'd like to focus as much as we can on Māori, and because we know they are in particular high in the stats. So looking at this, Māori incorporate not only the youth, that the age group that we're focused on, but the parents and the grandparents and leaders of the youth groups, and across the board, and in particular how we work in with those groups to propagate our own knowledge of navigation and in particular the environment, especially here in Hawke's Bay. When we sail out Te Matau Maui out into the ocean, it's not just the ocean that you see, but it's looking back at the land, and we have quite a affinity to a number of landmarks around the area, Cape Kidnappers in particular. Furthermore, in terms of working with the Coast Guard and lifesaving, we like to really focus on upskilling around not just swimming and interaction with the water, but vessel safety in particular. Te Matau Maui being a vessel, they can learn to work a sailing vessel, but also with the Coast Guard they can learn in general how to behave with vessels in the water. So yeah, thank you.
So just to sum up, we're really looking to what we see this as an investment. It's not just an investment in educating youth, but it's also participation within the family, getting parents involved in this process, and also the community. So what we do is we send invitations out to all the schools. So even though we do have a focus on the waka about Māori tikanga, we are definitely inclusive of all the different schools within the Hawke's Bay region. And so invitations get sent out to all schools. Those schools which take up that invitation then have the opportunity to send students forward for these various water safety days. Mihi atu kia koutou katoa. Are there any questions?
Questions, Councillor Dick?
Oh, thanks for your presentation. Have you guys applied to the likes of lotteries, Eastern Central Community Trust?
Yes, we do on a monthly basis, and we've found that the main things that they're wanting to fund things such as new sails, new rigging, ropes, life-saving equipment. Not so much this type of thing.
Yeah, that would be Eastern Central, would it?
Well, I mean, we apply to probably about 10 different organisations each month.
Right.
But we haven't had any luck in being able to deliver education programs like this.
Okay. All right. You try.
Thank you. Other questions? Councillor Belford.
Just to clarify, is this an ongoing request? 30,000 for the 3 years of the first 30,000 a year for the first 3 years of the cycle?
Yep, well, would welcome a review after the first year, and if you're happy there and after, then by all means, yeah, we definitely wouldn't be saying no. But we're keen to make sure that we prove ourselves and report back on everything that funding was spent for that funding before proceeding to the following year.
Further questions? TK, I hope you didn't write this letter. It says Hastings Regional Council. TK works for us.
So we've got a little bit of time, so I'm just going to show you just a quick video on our 2 water safety days last year. It only goes for about a minute. But there's no sound. Oh, well, you'll see the happy faces anyway. So last year we did have help from Hastings and Napier in delivering 1 day for each district. So we've done evaluations at the end of all these. It came out at something like 97% of the kids, had a fun day. The aspect that they liked the most was going out on the waka, hearing the stories about the waka, about the environment, about various place names. And the worst thing that they found was just the sun and the heat. So it was a pretty successful day, so we're just hoping that we can deliver this again on a larger scale. So kia ora tātou, thank you.
Kia ora tātou, thank you guys for that. Feel free to grab a cup of tea with us. We're going to stop now for 10 minutes. And come back here at 3:30 odd. I suppose we could, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Are you...
It's the last time.
You'll be short? Okay, well, why not? I'm thinking. So we'll get into this. We're just going to have our last submission here now, guys. So, Councillor Graham, when you're ready. So, good afternoon and welcome, Mr. Walford. Good on you. 10 minutes. You know the drill. If you want us to ask you some questions, give us some time in your 10 minutes of time. We've read your submission. Thank you.
Cool. Sweet. Thanks, Mr. Chairman, councillors and officers of the council. It's a pleasure to be here, and thanks for the opportunity to speak to our written submission. The Hawke's Bay Chamber represents 450 businesses in the region, and you might notice that's different to the submission. We're seeing some steady growth in that, which is fantastic, and is the only independent business advocate for the commercial sector in Hawke's Bay. The council recognises the need to balance social and environmental needs and economic decision making, hence the support in general for initiatives that increase the livability for Hawke's Bay. We all agree that economic growth will enable the region to achieve its aspirational initiatives as outlined in the plan. There are 3 points I wanted to talk to. The first one is water storage. Following the finalisation of the environmental inquiry decision for the Ruataniwha water storage scheme, the Chamber is keen to work with the Regional Council in support of the dam development. The Chamber supports sustainable water supplies that encourage and empower economic growth across the region, and we see both of that Ruataniwha and the Ngararoro as opportunities to empower and encourage economic growth. Economic development, the Hawke's Bay Chamber vision is to grow business vitality in the region, and it also aligns with the Hawke's Bay Regional Council desire to improve opportunities for our people and the prosperity of the region. The Chamber would like to see economic development monies fund incentives and schemes that promote the desire for businesses to locate or relocate to Hawke's Bay. So we're looking for incentives rather than administration. Tourism Hawke's Bay. The Hawke's Bay Chamber supports the application made by Tourism Hawke's Bay to the Regional Council based on the significant promotional map and strategy demonstrated by Tourism Hawke's Bay to us. We consider the investment to be part of the jigsaw that, alongside other initiatives by other TLAs, should attract more people and businesses to Hawke's Bay. Through the extensive marketing plan offered by Hawke's Bay Tourism, this additional funding will enable the perception of Hawke's Bay, held by locals and others, to be positively changed to promote the optimistic seasonal opportunity Hawke's Bay is for business and skilled people. This is as much an internal marketing proposal as an external one. The more people who live here that promote the region based on the strong seasonal Hawke's Bay tourism marketing proposal, the more vibrant the region. Here endeth the presentation.
Right, questions? Councillor Belford.
Wayne, the comment you make here about there are a myriad of tools that could be used to entice businesses to Hawke's Bay.
Yep.
Where I come from, the governors and so forth have lots of tax, lots of incentives to offer. There's always been an issue here as to what exactly, what are some of these tools that you're talking about that, were you talking about local councils having
Providing
incentives? What did you have in mind? What kinds of tools are there?
rates relief or opportunities around specific areas to work. Or one of the opportunities I see for this region is distribution businesses. We have so many containers in this region that move around empty, and to me it's a lack of productivity. The port does 7 times exports to 1 order imports, so distribution centres here to me would be a huge opportunity. So providing warehousing space or opportunities or support systems that enable business to come here and do business easily would be great sort of initiatives and incentives that we would see. But we don't want to see any more investment. Our sort of casual calculation is that $1.2 million is spent on economic development in this region, on the administration of economic development. So we'd like to see some more dewy.
A little less hooey. Okay. Just to follow on from that, though, there's been many initiatives. The port have driven stuff, flown people around, done all sorts of things. What's it going to take to crack that kernel? I mean, we've got one of the better ports. That's obvious. So, and exports would be greatly complemented by more imports. That's for sure. So just can you give us a flavour on what we're missing here? Because there's been all sorts of initiatives.
I think it's the internal marketing. People who live here and have lived here for a long time say we're too far away, the jobs are poorly paid, we don't have skilled workforce, we have a lot of people on the dole. That sort of internal narrative is really negative. And so that's what I say to you, that I think the investment in Hawke's Bay Tourism's promotional plan is as much about an internal promotion and marketing as an external one. And I think somebody's got to take charge of the culture of this region. And I'm not sure, that needs to be driven so that we can, as I say, change the narrative and we can have people saying, come down here, make it easy. The thing that scares me is when you talk to agents around here, we've got probably more than 100 executives looking for alternative employment. So that means that they're not inspired, they're not reaching their levels of the highest levels of productivity they may, because they're just waiting for another job. They won't leave because there's no other opportunities. So that's pretty scary. But anyway, yes. Sorry?
Councillor Bevan.
It's not yours, Rex?
Yeah,
No?
Wayne, thanks for your presentation. Your submission, I think, is saying you support extra funding for Business Hawke's Bay as well as extra funding for Hawke's Bay Tourism. Is that correct?
No. Well, an extra funding for economic development in incentives, not administration.
Okay, so do you have, we've got proposals in front of us to increase the funding of Hawke's Bay Tourism for 850,000 currently by an extra 900,000, and we've received a proposal to increase the funding for Business Hawke's Bay from 150,000 to that plus 182,000. You wouldn't support either of them?
Support the tourism one, because of both the internal and the external marketing opportunities that do that, that should drive opportunities, economic opportunities coming here. I don't know what the extra 182,000 for Business Hawke's Bay is for, but my conversation is about less on administration and more on incentive. So more action to make things happen rather than sitting in the office.
Okay, so our calculations are that the extra $900,000 being sought by Hawke's Bay Tourism would increase rates by 6%.
Mm-hmm.
You would support that?
Yes.
Councillor Dick, then Councillor Belford.
Yeah. Wayne, earlier on, it's probably before your time, when Murray was there was a pretty close relationship between the Chamber and Business Hawke's Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And under Murray's guidance, there was a pretty strong emphasis on the doing. But do you still have a relationship with Business Hawke's Bay?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. You don't co-locate with them,
Yes, we do.
do you?
Yes.
Are you in the business hub?
We're in the business hub, yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right. But albeit that you feel that there's enough being done in administration, any further resourcing should be more in terms of direct incentives. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. I'm concerned that with that investment of over 1.2 million, what are ratepayers getting back for that? And what are business people getting back for that?
Councillor Belford.
Well, it leaves one perplexed, doesn't it? We have one business voice saying we need to spend $162,000 a year more, Business Hawke's Bay, and we have a chamber saying bag it. Isn't that part of the problem with moving the region forward? We have multiple voices with apparently competing agendas.
We're the only independent voice. We don't have any council funding. It is based on our membership funding and our income from whatever other schemes and processes we manage. So I'm not saying bag it. I'm saying tag it.
Councillor Scott, we have a minute left.
1.2 million, that's taking a council's own economic development unit.
Correct.
Would that be better spent putting that into one bucket?
It depends what the tags are. Depends what the drivers are, what you're looking to achieve. But to me, it's about we need to actually create some action now.
Very good. Last question, anyone? Any further questions? Thank you, sir.
Cool, thanks.
And we will be in touch, and thank you for your submission, and we will be in touch in the near future, so thank you. Right, now let's break for afternoon tea and a quick discussion at the end of that about where we go to this afternoon, but I'm not sure there's a lot more we can do, is there? Cup of tea.